Hey, it's Shannon.
And Artis, and today we're going to talk about building your real estate empire.
Stay tuned.
All right, so like I said earlier, we want to talk about building your real estate empire, mainly by doing investment properties. So first thing you want to do when you start looking at getting investment properties is build a good team around you. So that good team being a real estate agent and also a great lender. Of course, kind of biased, but I may know a couple of pretty good lenders that will help you out a little bit, maybe, but no, seriously. Getting that good team around you. The real estate agent, they're going to help you find properties that are going to help cash flow, and we'll talk a little bit about that later. But be in good areas that are good for rentals, that are booming areas that are more prevalent to be rented than not. Because you don't want to buy a property for a rental property that you're not going to be able to rent out, because that's going to be basically a waste of your money. And then also with the on the loan officer side, getting a good team. The other part of that team, the loan officer, is going to help you structure the loan to where it's best beneficial for you. You don't want to get a loan officer that's just looking at, hey, we're going to get you a home that's going to be $500,000, and then you're not going to cash flow that much. So again, those two parts of that team are going to help you out in order to put you in the best situation possible when you first start out, and also throughout the rest of your time building that investment portfolio.
And that's a great point. And then step number 2 is just figuring out what funds you have available for what, and what you're going to need going into purchasing an investment property. So let's just say that you're gonna buy an investment property that's turnkey, meaning that it's not one that you have to go in and fix it up and do a lot of repairs. You're gonna need money for your down payment. So on investment property loans, the minimum down payment is 20%. However, if you have a good loan officer, they're going to show you that if you put 25% down, you're going to have a much better interest rate. So 20 to 25% is going to be that startup that you're going to need for your down payment going into it. And a lot of people don't know that. So you have to be prepared and have your savings ready for that, okay? So that you'll have your down payment and you can get into that property. And if it's going to be a property that you're going to need to do a lot of fixing up on, you're going to have money for those repairs in order to do those repairs. So just making sure that you've got your savings in line, going into it is another thing that you need to prepare for if you're going to be buying an investment property.
Not only, speaking of savings, not only just for your down payment, but you may also have to have something called reserves. We've talked about that in previous videos, but reserves are basically funds that are earmarked to, in case something happens, they're earmarked to be able to pay those monthly mortgage payments if you get, for instance, if something happens and a disease comes up and everybody's quarantined and you don't get a chance to get the same hours or the same salary that you were getting before, then you have those extra funds, those set aside funds earmarked to help offset your decrease in income, or basically, like I said, to pay those mortgage payments when you don't necessarily have the income coming in. Another thing is you want to make sure that your real estate agent, again, is helping you figure out your cash flow, basically what your return on investment, the amount of money you're paying towards your insurance, your taxes, your monthly mortgage payment, versus how much money you're going to be receiving on rent. So basically what the difference is going to be your cash flow, whether it's positive or negative. You always want to make sure that you're going to get a positive cash flow. And like I said, that realtor is going to help you figure out what the normal rent is going for in that area, and what your home that you're buying is going to possibly get for rent. And again, that's going to help you figure out if that house that you're looking at is a good investment, or if you want to pass on it and go do something totally different.
And the typical, so I have a lot of investors that I've done loans for, and the typical price point in our area where we are in Central Texas is between $100,000 and $175,000. Anything more than $175,000 is really kind of hard to cash flow, depending on where it's at, if you're just going to make it a rental property. So those are some things that you need to think about, is just, what you're going to do with the property, how long you're going to keep the property. Are you going to have it as a rental property where you have long-term rentals, or are you going to Airbnb it? You have to know what you're getting into with that property, because we're going to guide you, and so is your real estate agent, in a certain direction when we know your plan and we know what you're looking at. And like Artis said, with the cash flow, like let's just say that your payment with taxes and insurance and everything is $1,000. You want to make sure that you're going to rent it out for at least $1,200 so that you're covering that payment and you're cash flowing. So just different things like that you want to look at.
And then another expense you want to look at is property management. Whether you're going to do it yourself, if you have the time to do it, it's a little bit cheaper, but it's a little more or it's a little cheaper, but it's more time costly. It costs more of your personal time, because then you have to worry about handling the stuff. You're the landlord, but you're also the property manager, so you have to worry about if there's an issue with repairs on the property, or if there's, for God forbid, there's somebody who's not paying their rent like they're supposed to. You have to worry about doing that kind of stuff. Versus if you hire a property management company, you don't have to worry about any of that, but there's a cost involved in that. So again, you just have to figure out which one is more valuable to you, which one you have more of, whether you have more time to take care of the property yourself and you spend less money, or whether you have you can afford the little bit extra, or the extra it's going to cost to hire a property management company, but you're going to not have to be able to worry about any of the extra headaches that may come with it.
And investing in real estate is an excellent idea. Real estate in Central Texas appreciates at about 4 to 6% every single year. We don't see those huge jumps and those huge decreases. It's a very, very, very steady appreciation in Texas, which is awesome. So it's a lot safer and a lot better than the stock market, for sure. Stock market, you see all these ups and downs, and in real estate it is just like a steady incline. So definitely a safe bet to invest in some wealth and some properties.
So, and also creates generational wealth. It'll keep going from. It's something you can pass down to your kids, and kids can pass down to their kids, and just keep on going. So hey, if you have any questions about anything we talked about today, you can always reach out to us by phone at 254-295-0905. You can reach out to us by email at teamalexander@fairwaymc.com, or you can reach out to us on our website at www.alexandercares.com. We'd love to hear from you, and we'll talk to y'all again soon.
Bye.
Bye.